What up, guys? It's Rambo for Life here. Today, I have two topics I want to talk about, and these are topics that have been discussed quite a bit in the Dragon Ball community, and has gone back and forth quite a bit. I've seen this ever since it first came out and first was stated. So for years, it's been happening, and there's been so much back and forth about it. I don't know why. And that is Goku and Vegeta in their was Goku in his God form in Battle Gods? Was he universal level and beyond that? But I also want to talk about, did Goku and Vegeta absorb Super Saiyan God into their base form? Because there's two discussions to be had. One is by the Battle of Gods arc in the anime, it proved that these characters were now universal level, and also by at least the Resurrection of F arc and movie, they would be they absorbed God Ki into their base, making their base equivalent to Super Saiyan God Goku, which in this instance, since we're using the anime, that would mean that not only would you be arguing that Goku and Vegeta are universal level, but also they had that power in their base. So basically, meaning in base they're already universal level, and then when you multiply that with all the times they got stronger or the other transformations, it will accelerate their amount of like destructive power exponentially. So that's also something I want to talk about. But I also want to talk about the fact that why is this even a discussion? I thought it was very clear that yes, they are universal, and yes, they have absorbed Super Saiyan God into their base. But I feel like the reason a lot of people say no to this is simply to downplay Dragon Ball. And this has always happened. This happened for years about everything. Whenever we said these characters can destroy planets, move faster than the speed of light, solar system busting, all this stuff. When we said these characters are this powerful, or whenever a Dragon Ball fan or YouTuber or commentator, somebody says something about how powerful they are, you always have somebody in the comments or somebody making a video talking about actually they're not this powerful. I'm gonna be debunking this, and it's just like your arguments are simply I don't like the fact that these characters are this powerful and I don't want to accept it. So instead of just trying to just admitting that, I'm going to try to find a BS argument to say this is why. And I'm kind of getting annoyed by it because it feels very disingenuous. And I will be making a video talking about the Dragon Ball character's speed and some of the inconsistencies when it comes to the speed and just the speed in general. But I feel like a lot of these guys are just being hypocrites and being biased. And it is hypocritical for me because when I hear this, it's like, why don't you guys judge Superman or the Incredible Hulk or Thor this hard? Whenever it's a comic book character or another like anime character, they always like just go with believing it, especially comic book characters. They're like, well, they stated that this was the case, so it must be the case. But when Dragon Ball states it, it's not true. Even if it shows it, it's not true. It must be an outlier. It must be this. It must be that. But whenever it's comic books and stuff, they always accept it. And I made a video about this called Dragon Ball Power Scaling. I basically talked about how a lot of people like to downplay Dragon Ball and never give the Dragon Ball characters the credit when it comes to their power. A lot of them try to downplay them and put them at planet level, and even then they complain about it, saying no, I don't want to put them any higher than that. And then most of them would say large planet level. So I already had a problem with that. But today I want to talk about this discussion, and I want to go through some of the arguments that people have against it, and I want to show you my counter arguments against it. Now, first, people say, well, technically, when they say, well, if the shockwave was that powerful that it was going to destroy, not only the Dragon Ball universe, but the macroverse, then how come the Earth was still there and the Earth wasn't damaged? But what they forget to mention is it was literally explained in the anime itself by Elder Kai. He stated that the further out that the shockwave goes, the more destructive it becomes. That's why the Earth was not destroyed, because it was literally at the epicenter. So the further it got out, the more destructive it got. So that's why also they do show evidence that it did become stronger. As we see later on, we see, asteroids evaporate, even whole planets evaporate, and then it would set off some stars too. So we saw the destructive power. If it can evaporate planets from far away, then it would have destroyed the Earth if it was, just, destroying from the center. But the fact that it got stronger later on, and they showed planets getting destroyed, showed that it was a big threat. So yeah, that's wrong. Now, when people hear that, they use a counter argument saying, "Well, that doesn't make sense scientifically because in science, when an explosion happens or there's a shock wave, the closer you are, the more destructive it is. The further away it is, the less destructive it is." And yes, I know that, but here's the problem with that. This is fiction. People need to stop bringing real life science when it comes to fiction. And I feel like they only do this to characters that they don't want to admit that should be this powerful. Because I've seen people say, well, technically they cannot move faster than the speed of light because they'll have tunnel vision, they couldn't see, their brain couldn't comprehend it, this and that. They're using real life science and stuff. And I'm just like, you do know that can apply to Superman and any other fictional character that has can go faster than light. How come you're only using it when it comes to Dragon Ball, but when it comes to comics, you're saying, oh well, they're fictional characters. The same thing with this. They're fictional. Yes, logically and in real life, the further away you are from an explosion or a shockwave, the less damaging it is. The closer you are, the more damaging it is. But this is fiction, and they themselves stated that this is how it works. You might not like it. You might think that it's stupid and doesn't make any sense, which is fine. I can understand that. But to say that that means that that isn't true just because you don't like it, that's what the show writers intended when they wrote it. So you can dislike it. You can say it doesn't make sense scientifically, but that was the point of it. Also, you can kind of argue that since they're godly beings, especially Goku now obtained godly power, that their power would be not regular. It would be more like magical or mystical. So it would be outside of this plane of existence and how the science works. But still, you're trying to argue real life science, saying in real life that doesn't make sense. Yeah, but that's how it's written in the show. They give you, they give you a reasoning, and you didn't like the reasoning. Just say you don't want them to be universe level, and most just want to leave them at planet level for the rest of their careers or whatever. I'm getting sick and tired of hearing this. So that one was also BS. And then another thing people say is Beerus did all the work. Yeah, because apparently Goku wasn't punching. Beerus was doing all the work. If Beerus was doing all the work, why would he put so much power that he would destroy the universe as the god of destruction? He should know not to do that. The reason why it was Goku and people saying it was Goku is because Goku had no control of his Super Saiyan God form. Beerus had control over his godly power. He's been a god for millions of years. Goku just obtained the Super Saiyan God, so he was getting new to it. So that's why it was, people were saying that he did it. Also, when they explain later on, they explained that Goku was able to angle it out perfectly to cancel it out. But before it, he was hitting it like this, and there was a gap between it, and that gap was what was letting out the power and the shock wave that was destroying the universe. So no, it was not Beerus doing the work. It was because of Goku missing the mark and not being able to control his power. Once when he did, he was hitting it dead on. So it was Goku doing that. Also, people say 6 times instead of 3 times because they're saying the amount because they said in the anime they said within 3 hits it will destroy the universe. So people said within Goku could destroy the Dragon Ball Macroverse with 3 punches. But people try to argue that no, it's actually 6 because they were both hitting. But remember, Goku's the one that was missing it, and most of it was getting canceled out. Also, this kind of just makes this feat even more impressive due to the fact that the reason why the shockwaves were sent out because a little bit of gap between their attacks when they hit, they didn't really fully connect. So it was canceling out some of it, but the other parts that wasn't was leaking out. So it was only a bit of the power from their punches that was doing this. Most of it was being canceled out due to the fact that it was evening out a little. But there's that, and then the argument that people make is, if he was, if he was universe level, then how come they don't destroy the fight universe later when they fight? Once again, they explained it. Even Elder Kai explained it. He explained that the fact that, and Goku explained that he was able to match the power and the angling, and he got it right. And Goku's like, I was trying to get on the second try, but now I got it. So he was able to control it. And then later on, when they go on a full-on fight and just brawl, he stated that it's a brawl now. They learned both how to control it, so they don't need to worry about hitting each other, and try to cancel it out. They just can go all out and fight because they have control over it. That's what happens with these characters. I mean, early on in Dragon Ball, these characters were so powerful that any attack they fired close to the Earth would destroy it because their attacks were planet level. When he was fighting itself, they had to make sure that their attacks were not hitting the ground or getting close to it, that it was going in outer space or in an angle that was going more upwards. But after that, once we got to the Buu Saga, they didn't really care about the angling because they can launch their attacks and hit the planet and not destroy it because they were able to control their power. So yeah, there's also control in their power. And it was literally explained this, so I don't know why people are arguing. Also, people saying that there's no credible source. Are you kidding me? First of all, it was stated multiple times throughout the entire arc. Second of all, it was stated by multiple credible sources. It was stated by Whis, Elder Kai, and even the narrator. So I don't know why people are arguing this. They stated that these shockwaves are destroying the universe. The universe is going to be destroyed. You said they have power to destroy the universe. And I'm going to get into something else a little bit later on that because it pertains to absorbing God Ki in their body. But yeah, they were stated countless times by the narrator, Whis, and Elder Kai, which are very credible sources. They all stated it multiple times, so I don't know why this is an argument now. At this point, it's just people arguing against the writers. Like they're the ones who wrote this, and you're trying to say no, this is not the case because I, as a fan, don't believe in it. Like why? So yes, they are. We The reason they don't do all this universal stuff, but after is because these guys are able to control it to such a certain level. And I've seen this argument. A lot of people are saying, "You guys say these guys are universe level, but how come they're getting hurt by lasers and bullets?" I already made a video about that and why I just think that that's bad writing in general. I don't think that discredits that they're got universal level, because in the end of the day, that's something different. That's talking about their durability when their guard is down. That's not talking about how powerful they are when they're getting into a real fight and throwing punches. I don't know how their destructive power equates to their durability when their guard is down. But I've already made a video talking about why that's stupid, and I don't agree with that anyway. So don't even bring that crap into this. That doesn't disprove it. Disprove it what we've seen here. Tell me how what was stated by the narrator was not true. Him directly saying it. So go with that. Don't make some BS argument and try to move the goalpost and use something else as an argument like it's equivalent. It's not the same. So stop doing that. I'm sick and tired of seeing people doing that too. But yeah, there's that, and then we go to let's go to the whole absorbing the God Ki, and it was both in the movie and in the anime where it was stated that even Beerus stated that Goku absorbed it into that he obtained the godly essence in his regular form. Because when he was fighting against Super Saiyan Goku, and he hit him, he was like, "What the hell?" And then he started going off on him, especially in the anime. He started attacking him multiple times, started nullifying the universe, destroying attacks and stuff, and he was basically taking Goku serious. If Goku lost that much amount of power to the point where, like, if he didn't get that energy boost, then why the hell would Beerus be still fighting him? At that point, Beerus was like, "Okay, you're just Super Saiyan level. You might have gotten a little bit stronger, but you're not strong enough anymore to beat me." And he would have just ended it right there, or Goku would have been taken out easily, like how he was earlier. The fact that he was able to hang with him, where he disproves that. Also, the fact that uh, we see later on when there's the sphere of destruction going at Goku, and Beerus is making it bigger by doing this and moving at him. Goku goes back to the base and punches the energy attack in the center, destroying it. This attack would have made Super Saiyan God Goku struggle and would have killed him. Yet in base, he was able to destroy it. So they pushed it even further in the anime than they did in the movie. And there's no argument against that they did absorb it in their base. Also, another thing that completely proves this is the narrator once again saying it. And this also pertained to the universe destroying itself. This is why I don't want to put it in until here. But literally, the narrator says they're Super Saiyan Goku fighting Beerus with the power of Super Saiyan God that was enough to destroy the universe, and it literally states multiple times that Super Saiyan now has the power of Super Saiyan God that was equivalent to universe destroying. So the narrator's constantly mentioning the fact that Super Saiyan Goku at that point was equivalent to Super Saiyan God and had the Super Saiyan God's power, and even doing a side by side comparison by the feat that he achieved in his Super Saiyan God form with his Super Saiyan form, proving that, and also proving the fact that that was the case. Because if he was just saying that, if that wasn't the case, that he was doing this to the macroverse and stuff, the narrator wouldn't have mentioned that he has the power to destroy the universe. He would have just said he has the same power as Super Saiyan God. But he mentioned that again to emphasize the amount of power that Super Saiyan God has, and now Super Saiyan is on that level and has that power. So these arguments are kind of crappy, and if anybody wants to, any YouTuber or anybody in the comment section wants to disagree with me, that's fine. Go ahead, do it. I will make another. I don't mind making another video for your response and your arguments, and I'll go in depth in it, whatever. But I feel like I've gone and explained it very well, and any argument that I would see would most likely just be people not wanting to accept it no matter what, and not have really arguments. But hey, if you do have a good or decent argument, I'll probably make a part two of this, going on and talking about your arguments and trying to see if you're correct or it's just wrong. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video.